The alert hits at 6:14 in the morning, before your alarm, before your eyes are even open. You already know the sound. Low balance warning. You don't check it. You silence it and go back to sleep for 4 more minutes you don't have. $38.14. Rent pulls in 4 days. You open a different app instead. The one with the coffee and the little pastry that isn't really breakfast. $6. You get it anyway. Tell yourself it's fine. It's not fine. It's the app you open when you don't want to open the other one. There's a difference. You don't know that yet. This is you at 24. Warehouse picker. $18.40 an hour. Good with your hands, bad with your phone, worse with your inbox. Not broke, not fine either. That gray zone nobody makes a documentary about. Phone face down on the counter. Here's what you don't know this morning. 6 months from now, that same alert hits at 6:14 again, and you glance at it, laugh a little, and keep making coffee. You just don't know that yet. You rent a studio above a laundromat, $780 a month, alone, because the roommate situation ended badly enough that alone felt safer. The car outside is a 2014 Civic, $4,100 still owed. You know that number. You don't know much else. There's a student loan. You stopped opening that email 4 months ago. Not because the password changed, because not knowing feels lighter than knowing. That's the whole trick of it. Nobody warns you that avoidance doesn't feel like a decision. It feels like nothing at all. Like a Wednesday. Like scrolling past a notification and not even registering that you did it. Your phone buzzes on a Thursday afternoon, on break, sitting on an overturned crate in the loading bay. A subscription renews. A meal kit box you used twice back in January. $64.99. Gone before lunch is even over. No warning, no confirmation screen. Just gone. The app doesn't know you exist. It just executes. That's the first thing worth sitting with. The system isn't cruel. It isn't kind either. It runs on a schedule, and the schedule doesn't check if you're paying attention. There's a name for what you're doing. Psychologists call it the ostrich effect. Not laziness, not carelessness. Your brain doing exactly what it's built to do, protecting you from information that might hurt. The problem is the protection only works for a minute. After that, the stress doesn't disappear. It moves underground, where you can't see it working against you. Sunday. Raining. Nothing else to do. You open the banking app. Not just the balance screen this time. The whole statement. 90 days back. It takes 14 minutes to load, sort, and actually read. There's a number under food and delivery that makes you set the phone down on the mattress and pick it back up like it might have changed. It didn't change. Numbers don't do that. Only your relationship to them does. You don't screenshot it, don't text anyone. Just sit there on the edge of the mattress doing something that feels smaller than it is. Looking. That's the whole action. No spreadsheet yet, no plan yet, no math yet. Just looking. For the first time in months at something that was always there. You can't fix a number you refuse to look at. That's not a punishment. That's just the first door. And it turns out the door isn't locked. It never was. You just hadn't tried it. Monday night, a free spreadsheet template. 3 columns that turn into 4 by the time you're done. 4 numbers. That's the whole month. Number 1, net income. What actually lands. For you, that's $2,760 a month. Number 2, fundamentals. Rent, car payment, insurance, groceries, the stuff that doesn't ask permission. Number 3, future money. Whatever's already going towards savings or retirement. For you, that number is 0. Not low, 0. Number 4, fun money. Whatever's left. The part that makes a Wednesday feel worth having. You type in the real numbers, not the assumed ones. Rent, $780, car payment, $260, phone, $55, groceries, rough guess, maybe $240. Then the app pulls up a category you've never opened. Food delivery and takeout, $211 last month alone. You stare at that number longer than the rent number. No bill in here, no hidden fee, no landlord raising rent overnight. Just 100 small yeses that never felt like decisions in the moment. By the end of the night, the spreadsheet says, Take home 2,760. Fundamentals roughly 1,335. Future money 0. Fun money, the real number, the one that includes the meal kit box and the delivery apps, almost $1,150 a month. You didn't know that number existed inside the paycheck. It was always there. It just never had a name until tonight. Nothing has changed yet. Not $1 has moved. But next month, you're not just going to look at the number anymore. The target is $1,335. That's what your fundamentals actually cost all in. You read it twice and laugh. Not a happy laugh, the other kind. Here's the part nobody explains. Saving that much in 30 days isn't about discipline. It's about being willing to feel like something's missing for a while. Humans aren't built for delayed anything. You're wired to want the thing now, not the safety later. You cancel the meal kit box. Cancel a second streaming tier nobody was even watching. Start making the same 5 dinners on rotation. $3.50 a plate. Not 11, not 18. You open a high-yield savings account in about 7 minutes. No branch, no teller, no human anywhere in the process. Just a form, a code, a number that starts at 0. Set up an automatic transfer $150 a week. It runs whether you remember or not. That detail matters more than it sounds like it does. Week 2, a coworker mentions a concert, $75, a band you've liked since high school. You add it to the cart. Don't close the tab, just don't click. You stare at the checkout page for almost a minute before closing it. The hardest purchases were never the expensive ones. They're the ones that remind you who you used to be before you started paying attention. There's one thing you don't cut: the gas station coffee, $3.25 every morning on the way to the warehouse. You expect to feel guilty. You don't. Turns out you can build a buffer and still keep one small thing that isn't about math. End of the month, the savings account reads $1,270, $65 short of the goal. You stretch it into the first week of the next month instead of panicking about the gap. The goal was never perfection. The goal was proving the number could move on purpose for once. The buffer you built last month is about to get tested by something it wasn't built for yet. A decision about which debt to kill first and which one to leave alone. 2 numbers side by side for the first time. Credit card balance, $1,890. Interest rate, 26.9%. Student loan balance, $31,400. Interest rate, 4.8%. You used to think of these as one thing: debt, a single ugly word covering 2 completely different animals. They're not the same. They were never the same. You call the credit card company about a fee. $12 tacked on for a payment that posted 1 day late. Hold music, the kind that loops before you notice it looping. A rep reads from a script, says the fee can't be waived this time. Offers a case number if you want to follow up later. Nobody's rude, nobody's helpful either. $12 gone exactly the way the system was built to let it go. This used to wreck you completely. Now it's just a fact, not a crisis. You rank the debt for the first time. Highest interest rate first, not the biggest balance, not the one that feels heaviest emotionally. The math, not the feeling. 26.9 beats 4.8 every single time, no matter how the emotional weight sits. The student loan waits on purpose, not neglect. Order. You take the leftover money from month 2 system cooking instead of delivery. No meal kit box, no concert ticket, and throw all of it at the card. $290 in the first month. Balance drops to $1,600. Not gone, just smaller, moving in a direction that used to only move the other way. Somewhere in week 3, you start an emergency fund, separate from the 1-month buffer already sitting in savings. 3 months of fundamentals is the real target eventually. $4,005. You're not close. You start anyway with $20 because starting small beats waiting for a number that feels big enough to matter. The instinct shows up to stop everything and just stack cash until the emergency fund is finished. Freeze the debt payoff. Freeze the investing that hasn't even started. Wait until it's all perfect. You almost do exactly that. You don't. You keep the debt payments going at the same time. Small, but steady. Both things moving, neither one waiting for the other to finish first. Not all debt is the enemy. Only the debt with the bigger interest rate than your patience. An email sits in your inbox for 8 days before you open it. Subject line: about maximizing your benefits. Sounds like spam. It isn't. It's HR. About the 401k, the retirement account you've been contributing exactly 0% to since the day you were hired. You open it on a Friday, mostly out of boredom. There's a match. The company adds 50 cents for every dollar you put in, up to 5% of your paycheck. You read that twice. 18 months. That's how long the match sat there unclaimed every single paycheck. Nobody hid it, nobody mentioned it either. It was just sitting in the handbook the whole time, waiting for you to open the right email. Free money, not a phrase, an actual mechanism. Contribute $1, get $1.50 before the market does anything at all. You bump your contribution from 0 to 5% that same afternoon. The paycheck shrinks by about $69 every 2 weeks. You barely notice. The number that would have felt enormous back in month 0 just quietly disappears into a line item now. Same week, you open a Roth IRA. 24 years old, your first real investment account ever. First contribution? $50. Feels embarrassingly small next to every finance account online talking in numbers with 6 zeros. You put the $50 in anyway. A total market index fund, not a stock you picked from a group chat tip, just the whole market in one fund. The following week, the market dips. Your $50 becomes $48.60. You check it, feel something close to nothing. Not the stomach drop feeling from checking your bank balance back in month 0, just mild curiosity, watching a number that isn't attached to rent move on its own schedule. Nothing to sell because there's barely anything there yet. You just watch. That not doing anything is the actual skill. Nobody puts that on a poster. The emergency fund keeps growing at the same time. $190 now. The card balance keeps shrinking. $1,180 now. You still haven't told anyone about any of this. Not the coworkers, not the group chat. Nothing dramatic to tell. Just a $50 contribution and a fund you don't check obsessively anymore. 2 years at $18.40 an hour. You pull up a salary site on a lunch break. Alone in the break room, phone angled away from the door like it's something to hide. Warehouse leads with your tenure in your city average $21 to $24 an hour. You read that 3 times. Do the math on a napkin. The gap comes out to almost $5,700 a year. You rehearse the sentence in the car before going in, out loud twice to an empty passenger seat. I'd like to talk about a raise. Sounds fine in the car. Sounds different walking toward the shift supervisor's office with the door half open. He's fine enough, mostly checking something on his phone while you talk. You lay out your tenure, the market data, the 0 write-ups, the shift you covered on 4 hours' notice back in March. He nods, says he'll take it upstairs. You walk back to the floor already knowing the answer before the email ever comes. 2 weeks pass. Nothing. Not a slammed door. Just silence dressed up as a maybe, which somehow costs more than an actual no would have. You don't push again. Don't quit either. You start looking sideways instead of only up. A friend mentions an app. Weekend event setup cruise, booked through your phone, paid out within a day. You sign up on a Tuesday night, first shift is a Saturday, breaking down tables after a wedding. 5 hours, first payout, $138. Not the raise, not even close, but real, and it lands the same week you earn it, and nobody has to take anything upstairs first. You pick up 2 more shifts that month. If the raise had come through, it would have added roughly $380 a month after tax straight into the system already. You didn't get the yes. You got something smaller and slower instead. The math still moves, just through a different door. End of the month, card balance $890. Emergency fund $310. The side income is finally moving it faster. Roth IRA, a little over $160. Side income this month, $276. You still haven't gotten the raise. You stopped waiting for it to be the only way forward. You set up the transfers on a Sunday afternoon. All of them, back to back in one sitting. Rent, automatic. Car payment, automatic. Card payoff, automatic. Roth IRA, automatic. The 401k has been handling itself since month 4. One separate account gets whatever's left after all of that clears. That's the only account you're allowed to spend from without thinking twice. There's a term for what this fixes: decision fatigue. The more choices your brain makes in a day, the worse the later ones get. By evening, you're not choosing anymore. You're just taking whatever's easiest. Skip the meal prep, order the food, ignore the app. Willpower runs out by Thursday. A system doesn't get tired. 3 weeks in, a subscription tries to renew at a higher price. The same kind of quiet charge that hit back in month 0. This time, you catch it 2 days early. Checking once a week on a set day is enough now. It didn't used to be. You cancel the renewal. 10 seconds, done. No spiral. No screenshots sent to anyone. Just a small correction, made calmly by someone who knows where every dollar is supposed to be going. A coworker asks how the savings thing is going. Casual, over a break room coffee, not really expecting a real answer. You say, it's going funny. You don't explain the 401k match or the interest rate math or the folding tables at a stranger's wedding. There's not much to explain anymore. The system runs. You just live around it now. Here's what the numbers say by the end of the 6th month. Credit card, paid off. 0 balance for the first time since before this started. Emergency fund, $520. Still short of the full target. Still growing every week without you deciding to add to it that day. Roth IRA, $260. Small, real. 24 years old. Growing on its own schedule now. Side income, steady. Not every week, enough to matter. None of this looks impressive from the outside. Nobody's posting it. No dramatic before and after. No finish line with confetti. It's invisible. It doesn't come with an audience. It doesn't come with applause. The secret was never discipline. It was building a system good enough that you didn't need any. You didn't get better at resisting the $6 pastry versus skipping it. You just built something that didn't ask that question every single day anymore.
Saturday morning, 6 months almost to the day since that first alert at 6:14. You're making coffee, phone face up on the counter for once. It buzzes. Same time, 6:14. You glance down, don't hesitate, don't brace for anything. Low balance warning. Except the balance isn't low anymore. It's just a weekly summary notification, set to arrive at the same hour the dread used to. You look at it for maybe 2 seconds, then you go back to the coffee. 6 months ago, that same buzz at that same hour meant something was wrong. Meant a number you didn't want to see. Meant a phone face down on a counter on purpose. Because not knowing felt lighter than knowing. Nothing about this morning is dramatic. That was never supposed to be the point. You didn't get the raise, didn't hit some big number that changes a life overnight, didn't go viral, didn't quit the job. You just built a system. Small, boring, automatic. And somewhere in 6 months of doing it, the fear that used to live inside a buzzing phone quietly moved out. The Civic is still outside, still owed on. The coffee is still $3.25, and most mornings you still get it. Not because of guilt anymore, just because that's what actually sounds good this morning. Somewhere right now, someone else is lying in bed, phone face down, ignoring a buzz they already know the shape of. They don't know yet that the number itself was never the problem. They don't know yet what 6 months of just looking, one honest time, actually buys you. The buzz used to mean something was wrong. Now it's just a sound. Nothing changed faster than the bank account. You did.